All right, and morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Come to you live this Friday as the stock markets are already open. We are right at 10 a.m. This is usually when I start talking about a 10 a.m. reversal. However, this time around, probably not going to happen because once again, for the third day in a row, I am calling for a stock market top because it's not easy to call these things. And I believe this is the right vicinity to um, finally get that elusive stock market high. Let's go to the charts and start taking a look. I'll do a quick overview of Bitcoin because a lot of people only want to watch the first 5 minutes. And wow, I just cut my hand. All right, it's okay. Off my table here. And a lot of people just want to watch the first 5 minutes, and that's okay. And then we will cover other markets, and then we will get back to some Bitcoin in depth. Maybe I'll be able to get some questions in. Let me pop out the live chat. I do plan to keep these videos to under an hour, just like we did last night with the news show. And the law show will be back next week, and I will do my best to bring you the first episode of Understanding Bitcoin, something a little more for the tech conscious. Okay. First thing, hey guys, please support by heading over to the affiliate codes. And here we are. If you're using TradingView, if you're going to get a Bitcoin debit card, there you go. I got to have Joe on again to talk about what's the latest in order book valuation. And I've been meaning to have someone from 3 Commas on the show to talk about it. I just don't have the time to set it up and do all the proper research to ask the right questions, but I'll get there. I'm trying to get there. We talked about the Goldman Sachs report yesterday. It was complete nonsense, most of it. It just makes no sense whatsoever. It's like they haven't Googled Bitcoin since 2013. Okay, the big pattern still remains. We are once again, for the 4th week in a row, sitting on the edge of critical resistance. Critical resistance right here on Bitcoin off of this hyperwave 7. This is the month. This is supposed to be the monthly look. I'm going to drop this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. Much better. There we go. The month is almost at an end, and that is a very bullish close to the end of month. If we can hold it, we only have 2 days to go. Not much, just 2 days to go. If we can hold this close, if we can hold the close above this Fibonacci line, that makes me very optimistic for potentially finally breaking the $10,000 resistance. Here we are on a weekly scale. Next week is going to be very critical for Bitcoin. I don't think much is going to happen this week. I don't think we're going to break out this week. Only a few days left this week. It's all about next week. Will next week be a rejection, or will next week be the breakout above the trend line? We will all watch very, very carefully. Here is the daily chart. This triangle is starting to come into a zone. I can actually lower it like this. If this is the rejection, this is very, very clean. Very clean on this symmetric triangle right there. I'm already starting to adjust it because I'm already seeing Bitcoin pull back from the $9,500 area. And a lot of it might depend on the overall market. And if the overall market's coming down, Bitcoin will probably be dragged down along with it. But I don't believe Bitcoin is going anywhere near the annual lows. Here's the 4-hour chart. The 4-hour chart has turned, didn't give us any good counts to turn on. Here is a GBTC. Again, I have not piled into GBTC yet. I'm waiting for the premium to come down, and I'm waiting for that pullback. My big elusive pullback has not come. I really thought that we would challenge these moving averages. We did not. We dropped down to them the day of the epic 12-hour stream, and I wasn't trading that day, so I never got a chance to really get in. So I was hoping to get in at a better price. Didn't happen. It's not over yet. If not, I will just have to get in above 10K, and I'm okay with that. I'll be more confident in the breakout. Doesn't matter right now. Gold. Let's talk about gold. Gold is still looking good. Gold was falling a few days ago. It has rallied hard, and gold is once again challenging the top. I don't see any triangles here. I know people keep asking me about triangles in gold. I don't see them, guys. I don't see them. It doesn't mean they're not there. It just means I do not see them. I see this as consolidation, and as we break above, let's say 1760, gold can really take off to new all-time highs. So I remain pretty bullish on gold. Silver has been even more bullish than gold. I don't really understand it. I guess it's gotten oversold over the last few years by quite a bit, and it's trying to catch up. So maybe that's it, but I am generally way more bullish on gold into the future than silver. Silver is basically like a shitcoin. Very nice breakout in silver. You see, silver is going to new multi-month highs, but gold is still way behind. This was a high in gold, and then this was a lower high in gold. So we had a high in gold in mid-April, then we had an almost as high in gold in mid-May. If we look at silver, silver was not even close to a high in mid-April. Silver had a high in mid-May, but now it already has a higher high. So they're completely different TA profiles, completely. Silver is just trying to catch up to the great oversold that it had recently. But I don't know. I still prefer gold in general for the long term, especially if you're going to buy physical coins and store them. Gold is probably the better way to go. Oil is continuing to consolidate, trying to figure out what the market's doing. What is the market doing? Here's the futures market. And the futures market is dropping. Look at this beautiful reversal candle. Look at this perfect count. This is gorgeous. Now, the only thing is this is happening in the futures market. And the futures market is one count ahead because of a holiday, the May 25th, that traded in the futures market that did not trade in the cash market. And that's why I might have been calling the top in S&P one day prematurely, because I was paying too much attention to the futures market and not enough attention to the cash market, and the futures market was one count ahead. So it's basically a slight oversight. The TA wasn't wrong. Tone Vays reading TA was off by a little bit. However, this is a beautiful reversal candle right here on the perfect reversal count, along with a beautiful reversal candle right there. Not as beautiful as the doji, but this is the cash market. And here we are today with a nice red arrow right there. And we're already broken down below the lows. This should be it. This is it. I know I called it a few days ago, but I'm calling it again. I called it yesterday, and I'm calling it again today. I believe the market has topped. I believe it topped, and I believe we're now going to be going down. So you want to be careful with your bullish positions, okay? I mean, it's your decisions, but you want to be careful with those bullish positions. I believe other markets are topping as well. If I go over to my lists, and these are all the commodities, but if we look at indices, you know, we can look at the Dow Jones and see what the counts are. Still calculating. So the Dow Jones is not as cooperative as the S&P as far as topping on counts. That's okay. What about NASDAQ 100? Oh, we've been consolidating in the NASDAQ 100. Same thing. And this is the Russell RUT. My counts may not work on these. I don't know why. Unsupported resolution. Interesting. I'll need to take a look at that. How's the VIX doing? Yeah, VIX has really been dropping. Don't need this line anymore. And yeah, VIX tomorrow could flip over. VIX did not fall all that much considering how high the market went up. VIX has been consolidating. That could be starting to go up. The UK didn't rebound as much as the S&P. Beautiful reversal candle yesterday. BSC, is this India? Bombay Stock Exchange? Been consolidating. Really no TA help there. Guys, at this point, silver bugs are like the Litecoin people. Like they just can't get over the fact, or they can't realize that, you know, no one will use silver as money again. So they will just like make up stuff. If you want precious metals, buy gold. I would never buy silver again unless it's silverware. Unless that silver has utility, I won't buy it. I'll only buy silver as utility, not as because a gold fork will just be too expensive. But a silver fork's reasonable. Korea, looks like Korea has topped perfectly. I'm not even sure what that is. China, China is in the middle of nowhere. Brazil. Brazil's topped. Look at that. Perfect. Australia. Australia's topped perfectly. Look at that. More Australia. Same. Tops. Right there. Toronto, Canada. Topping today. Germany. Topped yesterday. I think the markets have topped. I think they're topped. Boom, today, Nikkei, Japan. Europe. Counts must have broken somewhere in the middle. France. Probably broken right there. Yeah, same thing. It's like the spirit of the 9 kind of thing going on there. So, yeah, I believe the markets have topped. Now, it's still possible for a 1 to 4 candle correction and then more upside. That is still something to keep an eye on. But I believe the markets have topped. So I will be looking to get out of my bullish exposure today. That's it. No more holding on to trades. As of today, I got to check my positions and then I'm out. Okay, I mean, there's really nothing else to say other than we can go back to Bitcoin. If the markets have topped and will start to go down significantly, Bitcoin will probably be dragged along for the ride. I just think that it's not going to fall that much. I still believe this triangle could fully develop as we approach back down to the $8,900 area. I know there's lots of reasons to be bullish Bitcoin, and I would love for those reasons to develop. But at the moment, I'm going to err on the side of caution. I am slightly, well, I'm actually neutral on a daily because we are so close to prior swing highs. And we're also right at resistance. And right here would be a nice buying opportunity maybe. So I am very neutral on the daily chart. I am very neutral on the 4-hour chart too. And the problem is the weekly chart. The weekly chart is sitting right at resistance. So this is the time to patiently watch. If you're a short-term trader, you may want to have to go deeper. You may have to go to the 1 hour chart in order to get your trades in, because I just don't see anything. I just don't see any direction from the higher level timeframes at all. All right, we got any good questions, guys? Thoughts on when we break the last monthly high close on Bitcoin? Guys, I don't have any idea as to when we are likely to break it, because right here at the moment we are just as likely to head towards 6,000 as we are to break above this prior swing high of 10,400. Like, I actually give that 50-50 right now. Like, we're sitting right at resistance. Same thing here. Like, when we're sitting here at 10,500, who would have thought that we would get to 4,000, a 60% correction before we touched 11,000? Like, 11,000 was so close, but you were sitting at resistance. It's the same problem. If we break this resistance, we can go to 20,000 like this. Like, once we break the resistance, this can happen easily. Like this can happen. It can. We can go, hell, I'll even give you this one. It's possible for us to be at $22,000 Bitcoin by the end of this year. It is totally possible. But it all starts with breaking this resistance at $10,000. And I think it's going to be very challenging, which is why I remain with this chart. And I haven't changed this chart since the beginning of the year. I've had no reason to change it, or whenever the hell I drew it. I think I had it since the beginning of the year. And we're already halfway through the year. It's June. It's June in 3 days. So there's nothing I can say here. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea when we're going to break 10,000. But the longer we hang around 10,000, the easier it becomes to break it. The longer we stay in this area, the longer we consolidate at 9,500, the more likely we are to break out to new all-time highs. But until we do, until this break actually occurs, I'm going to continue to assume that we're more likely to get rejected and make some kind of a critical low. Maybe even make a head and shoulders right here. See, here's your left shoulder, here's your head, and here's your right shoulder. An inverse head and shoulders. But that's going to take time to develop. I mean, if we just got stuck between 9,000 and 10,000 for 5 weeks, we can be stuck here for one more week. That's 6 weeks. It could take us another 8 weeks to get down to 7,000. Could take us another 7-8 weeks to get back up. Next thing you know, it's November. Next thing you know, you're still sitting here at $9,000 and it's November, which is actually what I believe is most likely to happen. All right. So I don't have any questions, or unfortunately, I don't have anyone helping me with questions today. So, Tom, what about gold? I already talked about gold. You gotta rewind the video a little bit. I'm not familiar with VT or VTI ETFs. Vanguard International, I guess. Equity Index Fund. Total World. Okay, and what's VTI? Vanguard Index Fund Total Stock Market ETF. I don't know what the difference is, so I can't pick one over the other. Looks like it's topped. Thoughts on the 50-week moving average, any significance? I mean, do you mean in Bitcoin? Guys, you have to provide the asset. And you have to provide, well, you did provide a time frame. 50-week moving average, weekly. I mean, that's it right here, I think. 5,200. Yeah, 750,200. Thoughts on the 50-week moving average? Well, it's supporting Bitcoin right now, so it's good. But look how it's going to turn down in a few weeks. It's turning down unless Bitcoin breaks out big time. So far it's been supporting Bitcoin, but I still believe we will touch the 200-week moving average one more time. It could be next week, in which case we fall to 6,000. It could be at, in January, in which case Bitcoin would fall to 8,000 in January. So I still think we're going to hit the 200-week moving average sometime this year. Tone, take a look at fake meat. Not much to say. Looks like it had a nice rounded top. I don't like trading these. I don't like trading this. I would not have traded this. I know there's an A13 and a C13, but I don't like trading this consolidation. So I need more sharper tops to trade. VT is a total world stock market and VTI is a total USA stock market. Okay, so for the next 10 years, maybe even 20 years, I'd rather be in VTI. If we're talking 100 years, I'd rather be in VT. I think US will outperform the world over the next decade. Last I checked, Tesla and Amazon were still US companies. And China ain't ready to take over the world. Tone, do you see an inverse head and shoulders on Bitcoin weekly time frame? Not yet. I don't see it yet, but I think it's possible. You can't see it yet because the right shoulder has not started forming yet. But I can see it. But I can see that it could happen. But there's absolutely no head and shoulders. So far, what we have is we have the June top in hindsight caused by the plus token scam. And then we had a lower a swing low, a lower high, a lower low, a equal high, but I guess a lower high compared to the original high. And then we had a lower low, and now we have a lower high. So all we are doing so far is making lower lows and lower highs until this pattern is broken. You can't assume anything. Now, if we get that inverse head and shoulders, that would be beautiful because, first of all, that would probably back test the 200-week moving average, which is what I'm looking for. It will create a higher low, which is what I'm looking for. And it will create the perfect momentum to break out above this trend line. This is exactly what I would love to see. I would love to see an inverse head and shoulders. But we have to make the right shoulder first. If we close this month below 9K, then what will happen? Again, anything can happen, guys. If we close this month below 9K, which means we're going to drop 450 points over the next 2 days going into Sunday night. If we close this month below 9K, I think we're going to go down. I think we're going down. Closing the month below 9K, this is the 1 hour chart. Let's go to 4 hour chart. Wait, that's not right. This is the 4 hour chart. This should be the daily chart. If we close this month below 9K, I think that these lows are in jeopardy. I think that these lows are definitely in jeopardy, and these lows are possibly in jeopardy. And now you got to pray that the 200-day moving average holds up the price, which I don't believe that it will. Like if we close below 9K this month, like, if we like drop that hard and close below 9K this month, then I think we're going to go back and back test 72, which would be great. I would love to see a back test of 72. But the slower it happens, the better. In fact, I would love to see a back test of this red line forming that inverse head and shoulders, which is almost 72. It's about 68. 72, 68. It's about the same. I would love to see 68 to 72 because I would love to buy at that price for the long term. I don't think S&P has topped. Central banks are still following a monetary easing policy. Yeah, but they're always following a monetary easing policy. Thoughts on weekly RSI? It's bullish to me. To me, the weekly RSI is pretty bullish. With double top, pulled back a little bit, rising back up again. I think the RSI is more bullish than bearish, but it's kind of neutral. The MACD is bullish, that's for sure. But the CMF is a disaster. No volume right here. I may have to open my trading account, guys, especially if the S&P is dropping hard. Yeah, and it is. S&P is dropping. I mean, I've been saying for the last 3 days, S&P is topping right here. Off by a day or two doesn't really matter in the long scheme of things. I think we're topped. Just my opinion. Tone, what do you think of Peter Brandt calling Tesla target of 1,360 on Twitter last week? I mean, Peter Brandt could have called a $5,000 target on Tesla, and I would be okay with it. Look, guys, I'm bullish Tesla. I don't own any Tesla stock at the moment, but I'm bullish on Tesla. I want to buy a Tesla. I should just put, I should have been invested in Tesla long ago. I've been talking positively about Tesla forever. But I'm also trying to be neutral. I don't want to talk about being bullish Tesla when my entire retirement account is in Tesla. That's not exactly objective. I would love to buy Tesla on a pullback. I would love to see the S&P 500 pull back one more time, down to like 2,500. And probably one of the things that I would buy in that case is Tesla. I would love to buy Tesla back at like 250 or 300. Everybody should love that. Getting a 9 above resistance is bullish, Tone. Yes, and maybe. It is bullish if we only get a 1 to 4 candle pullback and then we go higher. To me, this is not bullish. To me, this run up was unreasonably big. I didn't think we would break this line. And yes, we did break it by 2 candles. And we barely broke it in the futures market. We literally broke it by like maybe 1 close. It's too close to call for me. To me, trading isn't a game of inches. It's not. It's a game of inches on entries and exits for your profits. But as far as identifying tops and bottoms, if something crosses by a few pennies, that's not enough for me to, change my future outlook. Just because we technically broke this line by $1 doesn't mean that it's bullish to me. Tesla, weekly 8, monthly 9. Yeah, I would love to see a big pullback in Tesla. Let me see. Hey guys, so I'm gonna have those private Zoom sessions, and then we can dig into the stocks more. I gotta be a little careful as to what I say publicly these days. It's not always good. Yeah, here it is. Here's the monthly 9, and the multi-time frame will eventually be out. Yeah, and a weekly 8. This is incredible. So next week, we're going to be 1 day after a monthly 9, and the first day of a weekly 9. This is great. I think Tesla will probably pull back. Yeah, I would love to see Tesla pull back. I mean, it perfectly pulled back to the breakout level. So there's no reason for it to go all the way to 400. But if Tesla even pulls back to 500, that's going to be beautiful. What is it that makes Tesla so valuable? Well, the fact that they make cool cars. Guys, don't underestimate the power of, cool things. Okay. They have awesome, affordable cars, and they're trying to build for the future. There are many things that make it valuable. The fact that I want one makes Tesla valuable to me. Have you ever met a Tesla owner? It's like meeting a Bitcoiner. They can't shut up about it. If SpaceX launches successfully tomorrow, Tesla will pump hard. It's possible. Compare Amazon Weekly from 98 to 2007 with Bitcoin Weekly. Yeah, no, I know. Amazon's been, Amazon definitely has its Bitcoin pumping qualities. And I think Amazon's not done. Yeah, no, I don't want to see SpaceX launch fail. Like, I don't want to, I only want to see failure when there's scams involved. SpaceX is not a scam. Tesla is not a scam. I don't want to see failure there. Ethereum, on the other hand, I really don't mind seeing failure there. In fact, I love talking about the failures of Ethereum. All right, guys. I think this was good. We're closing out with almost 1,000 viewers. Oh, I want to take a look at the mempool. Please support with the affiliate codes. I got to clean up this whole page. I'm going to change a lot of stuff on my website as well. Mempool right now. So I said yesterday that I sent off a 13 Satoshi per byte transaction, and it was stuck for 6 hours. It eventually cleared after 8 hours. But after it cleared, you could have gotten your transactions into the next block for like 3 or 4 Satoshis per byte. I mean, when you send off a transaction, when the mempool is busy, that's what's going to happen. Had I sent, and I paid 30 cents for that transaction, by the way. So I paid 30 cents for that transaction. It took 8 hours. If I had paid 50 or 60 cents for that transaction, it would have taken probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half. But don't forget, that is that's confirmation. Don't confuse confirmation with getting that transaction. So like confirmation on a Visa is a month. So yeah, so what? So my transaction yesterday took 8 hours. It's still better than 1 month for a Visa. By the way, my PayPal transactions for the company, I still haven't gotten them. They're still on hold. PayPal is waiting a month to even let me access the money because they're not sure if my business is a scam or not. Well, I wouldn't blame them either. So right now, I have a bunch of transactions in PayPal that I can't even access because they're waiting for 1 month to see if there's any customer complaints before they give me my money. So don't complain about an 8-hour confirmation time, especially if you're going to be cheap on your transaction fee. So you see how it's rising up again? Again, this is probably due to BitMEX sending out a bunch of transactions. So right now, you're in the gray area. Gray area is about 60 or 70 Satoshis per byte. So it will cost you about 60, 70 cents to send the transaction. if you want it confirmed immediately. If you're willing to wait till tomorrow, you can use, in the green area right here, and you can see how a few hours ago, the green area was clearing. And same thing here. Didn't fully clear, but came close. So, yeah. All right, guys. That's it. Kept it to a little bit over 30 minutes. So thank you so much for watching. We'll continue to watch Bitcoin. I believe the markets are about to pull back, but we can prove me wrong. All you got to do is break above. I've adjusted this daily triangle. I still believe this is consolidation. This consolidation can break out. It can also break down. At the moment, I am as neutral as I've been in a long time. The weekly is at resistance. The daily is in consolidation. Even the 4 hour is kind of useless right now. So at the moment, I would take a break, enjoy the weekend, and see what happens going into it. Not sure what the podcasting schedule will be like this weekend, but I will bring you more shows when I can. Bye, guys.